Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. Looks kind of blurry. I don't really like being on video, but I just decided that I would just kind of share my story before I do this reading. So this will be about the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine Energies weekly update. And the reason why I decided to talk about a little bit about myself was to let everyone know why I'm doing this channel. And the fact of the matter was, it wasn't my idea to do this channel, and I'm on the same journey as everyone who watches this. I know everyone has a different path right now, and there are some people who are in physical union. There are some people who are not in physical union. There's some crazy paths going on within the twin flame journey. There are people like me who are in and out, and just a lot of energies that are going crazy. The energies are getting higher. We're vibrating higher, and I know I'm feeling it way more since January, since the full moon, and then even this new moon, I'm feeling it. And I started getting more and more scattered. But what I've been doing is the reason why I started this channel was because I was going through a lot of dark nights of the soul, just like just like a lot of people on this journey. And the more I did that, the more I researched and the more I channeled and the more I did tarot and the more I learned things. And I got to the point where I learned so much that my divine said, okay, now it's time for you to share it. And so I don't particularly like to be on camera. So I just do my hands and the cards, and I do my best to try to convey what I'm learning. And it's such a tough journey because being in physical union, I'm not currently in physical union, and I'm going to get back to that in a second. But being in physical union, what taught me was this is not a third dimensional relationship. So me and my twin flame in the 3D, we did everything we could to make it work in 2019, in that third dimensional paradigm. We did everything right. We did everything we could. We were respectful to each other. We were nice to each other. We were loving to each other. We did everything we could within that 3D paradigm, but we didn't know what was happening. And it was after we broke up that I realized what this really is, and what I needed to do to make it work. And that's why I started really like being up all night, researching, channeling. I did a lot of crying, of course. And I basically, what I started doing was the more I learned, the more I just started creating my own deck. So you'll see if you've been watching my channel, like I just create just so much information on my own that I can't find in tarot cards. So I just make them myself. And then I try to present it that way because that's what I do. I do tarot and oracle. And so, but it's hard for me to convey everything, because there's just so much to learn, and everyone's on a different path. And some people, they need to go through some things before they can get to the next level. And so I'm doing my best to share what I've learned on my twin flame journey so far. And so after, and I went through the gamut in my twin flame journey. Like I've been through the third party situation. I've been through rejection after rejection after rejection. I've been rejected more times than I could count, since 2017. And then since we broke up, I've finally figured out about how to balance my inner divine and in my inner divine feminine and my inner divine masculine energies. And once I learned how to do that, my divine masculine actually figured out that we were twin flames, because me telling him didn't work. um, and so after we broke up, he figured it out, but this was after I balanced myself out. And so this reading is actually, I didn't expect to do this. I expected to do my normal divine feminine and divine masculine reading of, head space, heart space, energies, what to work on. But my spiritual entourage, I like to call them, they asked me to do it this way. And so I'm kind of going off this chart that where I learned how to balance myself out. And so this has to do with spiritual feminine, and then earthly feminine. So this has to do with yourself as the divine feminine, which is your left side, and your own divine masculine as your right side, which does manifest in the 3D with your divine counterpart in the 3D. And so this is based on, I'm just going to show you my cards super quick. The way this reading is going to work is this is the divine feminine, this is the divine masculine. And then I also pulled a card for an overall energy. And then this has to do with what's not in balance. Okay, this is for the collective, of course, so it's not going to resonate with everyone. So this has to do with the spiritual feminine. This has to do with the earthly feminine. This has to do with the spiritual masculine. And this has to do, the spiritual masculine. This has to do with the earthly masculine. Okay, and so I know that sounds like a way different way to do the reading. But I do what I'm told, and this is what I'm being told. I'm not really allowed to be the norm. I'm being asked to go real out of the box. I feel like I might be attracting people in the twin flame union already who are going through something where that I went through, where it's not what they thought. Like they thought they could make their twin flame union into into a regular third dimensional relationship, and they're realizing they can't. And now it's ending and they don't know why. And trust me, it's not because your divine counterpart wants it to end, and I will prove that once I show you these cards. It's just that we have to, because we signed up for this twin flame journey, we had made a pact, we had made a contract to move up into the fifth dimension. And this is a fifth dimensional relationship. And that means we have to have a relationship with ourselves first, where we feel whole and complete and we're completely balanced. And I'm not going to go over the entire chart with you. And this is something I would go over in like a life coaching type session, because I feel like I've been through the gamut. I feel like I've been through the trenches, that this is something I know in and out and I can teach on. Now, could I technically text my divine masculine, I should say my third dimensional counterpart, today and say, hey, I miss you, let's meet? Yes. And would he respond? Yes. And would we be meeting tomorrow? Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind that my third dimensional counterpart would want to be in this relationship with me. But I know that if I were to do that, it would go back to the way it was. And what that was, and this is what I can tell you for those who are not in union yet, in the physical, is that what happens is, yes, they love you, but because you're mirroring back at them what's not healed in them, and they're mirroring back to you what's not healed in you, if you're not completely balanced, and if you're not completely at peace with being alone, and not saying, oh, because that's what happens when you're in union. You do treat it where you're like, oh, well, don't they want to go out on a date with me? Or, oh, why are they hanging out with their friends and not me? And why aren't they flirting with me like, most guys do? It's like that, or, and then vice versa if you're a male. And you soon find out that they have no choice, because they are you in another body. That's all it is they are you in another body, and they have no choice but to mirror back you. And if you're not whole and complete in yourself, in this, I am, like, we are all one, and there's no such thing as separation. And, they love me no matter what, and I love myself no matter what. Like, if you're not there, which I don't know too many people who are, I'm definitely not. That's why when I do try to get back into physical, which I could be very easily, probably many of you could just text your divine counterpart, and boom, they're there. And then quickly you realize, oh, this is not what I thought it would be. I don't feel the romance. I don't feel the connection, because it's not 3D. It's not a 3D connection, and it confuses everyone. And so, and then something else about myself is that, I had trauma as a child, where my dad was in Vietnam, and he, you know what happens in Vietnam, where you're told to kill a lot of people on the ground. And then they expect to release them out into, the normal life and raise a family. And my dad was very young when he went to Vietnam, and then he, got married and had a family. He couldn't handle that after what he did in Vietnam, and then was abusive to the family and to my mother. And then in turn, my mother had postpartum and didn't know how to handle kids. And so I was beaten as a child. And what happened was, what you do is, when you're beaten as a child, you learn to disconnect. You learn to no longer feel, and you don't emotionally connect to anyone, and you don't emotionally connect to yourself. And then you even learn to check out. So when you're being beaten, you don't feel it anymore. You're just checked out. But what I didn't realize is that affected me as an adult, because I didn't heal my inner child. So when I was in physical union, this is what was being mirrored back to me. And it would actually be mirrored back to me no matter what relationship I would be in, because it's a fifth dimensional relationship. So even if I decided to date someone else, it would still be mirrored back to me. And the reason why I know that is because I didn't know I met my twin flame. I didn't know he was my twin flame. And so I dated other people afterwards when he told me he didn't want to take it in a, romantic way. And so I dated other people, and that's exactly what they mirrored back to me, is that they couldn't emotionally connect. And I didn't know what that was. And I didn't know that was me. And I didn't even know that was a thing. And I'm like, people are emotionally connected to themselves. People emotionally connect. I didn't even know what that was, because I never did the healing work. And so besides healing your inner child, what that does is it helps you raise in your vibration, because you're so dense. No matter how much you try to be in love and enjoy, as long as this stuff wasn't healed, I would go right back down to my whole, like, either neutrality or lower. And so I think everyone has a story, and everyone went through something where they're healing something in their past, in their childhood. Could be past lives, could be something in their bloodline. And it's like our job to release these, like, dysfunctions, or, our inner child, and, our traumas. And so I didn't even know it existed until I got into physical union with my beloved, but I have to say, third dimensional counterpart. I can't call my third dimensional counterpart my divine counterpart, because my divine counterpart never went anywhere. My divine counterpart is my soul, and my soul never left me. And that's my inner divine feminine and my inner divine masculine, and they are integrating. And as long as they are integrating, I am whole, and I am moving up to the fifth dimension. And I cannot measure that in the third dimension. I cannot look at the third dimension and say, oh yeah, that's my divine counterpart. No, that's your 3D counterpart. And so, but we have to heal first, and what we have to balance out first is our own inner divine feminine counterpart, and our own divine masculine counterpart, which has nothing to do with male or female, but this is what our soul is. So because of these oh my gosh, high vibrational energies, we're spiking. If you look at the Schumann's resonance scale, well, we're spiking in vibration. And so I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling like frazzled by the energies, and I really wasn't catching up as quick as I thought I would. I've been balancing out pretty well, I thought. I've been doing the work. I've been doing a lot of self-love, a lot of self-healing. Doing this has been helping me, because I'm just channeling. This isn't me. I'm researching, but I'm in the trenches with you guys. I'm not there yet. I'm not sitting on my throne saying, oh yeah, I have everything. Everything's great. Everything's perfect. No, I'm with you guys saying, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Oh, I'll try that. And it got to the point where, ever since I started this channel, I was getting so scattered with so much information that it was like filling up my brain, that I was getting so confused with all this new, because I'm not used to the fifth dimension at all, that I literally had piles and piles of paper in my office that I would go through in the morning saying, well, I need a spiritual practice that incorporates all of this. And I started feeling very confused. So I actually made myself a poster board to finally put it all on one like board so that when I wake up in the morning, here it is. And basically it says, I must deprogram myself to get out of this matrix because I now live in the fifth dimension. That's the title. And then I'm just giving myself things that I have to do. Like I'm giving myself in small print, like I have to, write 5 things that I am, grateful for, or what are my 5 wins, or what am I at peace about, or just stuff like anything that I have to work on. I mean, I'm just writing out so it's something in the morning where I'm not scattered and I'm focused. Because whenever I do my own tarot, I am always getting the Page of Pentacles over and over and over, and that's all about focus. They're telling me I'm scattered. I'm just scattered, and so that I needed to focus. And so I finally. And the funny thing is that both my parents have passed away in the past 5 years, maybe more than 5 years, and so I do talk to them, and my dad's here all the time, and my mom's here all the time. By the way, that's why I have this angel here. It says mother's love. That's my mom watching over me. Okay, she's always here during my readings, and then my dad, he's telling me get a poster board, Mare, because I didn't know, and I didn't know what he meant by that, like get a poster board. I'm like, get a like what, like get a big poster with like an easel. Like I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. So I had poster boards, so I decided to so now I'm gonna try to be focused. So I just want to let you know that I'm with you. I'm in the trenches. I'm doing my best to get there. And the more I learn, because I work a full time job, this is something I do on the side. I'm doing this late at night. Sometimes I'm really tired, and when I communicate over the video, I sound very mumbled or tired because I'm doing this at night. I'm doing this on the weekends. Anyone that I thought I could count on, and I'm not saying I can't count on because I have my divine spiritual entourage, but in the 3D, anyone who I thought was like my rock that I could lean on has been swiftly taken away. And so I get many of you are going through the same thing where you feel kind of abandoned. You feel like, okay, it's just me. Now what? And you feel like you're getting rejected all the time. And with me, I thought, oh, well, I have my best friend. I'm going to see my best friend. And then all of a sudden, my best friend couldn't see me anymore. She's like being certified in something where she's never, available. And then my other best friend, who I could lean on, all of a sudden moved to a different state. Um, my mother passed away within the last 3 years. As a matter of fact, it was her birthday this week. She passed away three years ago. And so, like anyone I thought that I was connected to and that I could lean on, and including my 3D counterpart, Twin Flame, like they all just kind of left. And so anyway, so I find myself alone many weekends and on a Saturday night, and instead I'm being asked to sit down, focus, stop being distracted. And what they're telling me is, yeah, we could put you in a relationship, but if they're not helping you grow and they're not helping you to evolve, then they're not here for your highest good. Then it's not for your highest good because they're telling me you signed up for this. You signed up to go into the fifth dimension. You signed up to be a pioneer. They're asking 4 or 5% of the world to do this, and maybe only 2% of the world is actually doing it or has already done it. And so, because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, and it's not. And so I just want to let everyone know that I feel for you, and I'm going to help you as much as I can. I'm going to keep researching. I'm going to keep going into the trenches. I'm going to keep figuring stuff out. Like when I go through these mini Dark Night of the Souls, I come out with more knowledge, more channeling, more info, and I'm going to create more of these decks. I'm just going to write more information. I'm going to present it. And I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep doing it as much as I can to help everyone. And it also helps me. And hopefully all of us collectively will, deprogram out of this third dimensional paradigm, because that's what we're doing. We're trying to deprogram everything that happened to us as children, and we're trying to reprogram ourselves to be in the fifth dimension of this feeling of unconditional love. We are all one, that there's actually no such thing as separation. That's why I have to say so-called separation. It's all an illusion, because, we want to be out of this third dimension. And if you and let's say I decided, oh, but I really want romance. I really want that, they're telling me they love me and I need to hear they love me. There's no judgment against that. My divine's like, if that's what you need, but that's going to take you back into the 3D. And what that does is it just makes you have, like, now your happiness is based on what's outside of you. And if that gets taken away, which it was over and over and over in the past 3 years, now I'm going to be at the will of those people who are making me feel happy. And then I become more imbalanced. So that's why they want me to balance myself on the inside, feel happy on the inside, feel complete and whole on the inside, be at peace. Even if they say, oh, you're never going to see your 3D counterpart ever again, they want me to be at peace with that and say, okay, I trust the divine. I get it. It's all good. You know it's for the highest good. I even had to write down on my poster board that at this time, my third dimensional counterpart is not going to help me evolve, because if I'm imbalanced, then my 3D counterpart has no choice but to be my shadow side. And that's just how it works. And they're innocent. It has nothing to do with them. They can't help it. They're a you in another body, or they're me in another body. They have no choice but to mirror back my imbalance. And if I need them in any sort of way, if I need to hear from them, if I long for them, or if I'm confused about them, or if I don't trust them, that puts me out of balance in my own divine feminine, my own divine masculine energies. That puts them out of balance and even makes them my shadow side. And I love how this YouTuber likes to talk about, he likes to say, if you're not helping me grow, if you're not helping me to evolve, then you're a distraction in my life. No, I think that's all too harsh. So I just like to say, if my counterpart's not helping me to evolve, which he did in the relationship, but not in the way that you would think, not in like a 3D way. There was no like spiritual conversation that was helping me grow. It was more like, what the hell's happening? Why am I numbing out? Why am I numb? Why am I scared? Why am I like feeling like I want to get the hell out of here? Because that's what it feels like in the 3D union with your twin flame, because it's not a 3D union. It's a 5D, and it feels so numbing for me. I don't know if you guys had the same experience. And but the way I worded it is like, if a 3D person is not in my life and they're not helping me to evolve, then they can't be in my life right now because it's not for the highest good. I can only surround myself now with people who can uplift me and to help me to evolve for my highest good. I'm not going to say they're a distraction, because to me, that's a little harsh, because I have friends that I love hanging out with, and like that brings me joy. It's not necessarily a distraction. It may not be for my highest good, but I mean, there are times when I just want to be with my friends who have zero interest in spirituality, like none. They don't care. And that's okay. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to share my story. There's probably a lot more to my story that I haven't, and I could always go deeper, but I would never want to share too much, especially out of respect for my twin flame counterpart in the 3D. But anyway, I'm now going to do this reading for you, and I hope you like it, because like I said, it's a little different. It's not your typical DF, DM energy that I was doing. I'm sorry, but this channel is going to be totally different. I do want to say that this channel is meant to empower you, and that's really it. It's not really meant to give you an outcome. It's not meant to give you a result. It's not meant to tell you like if your divine masculine's coming back or not. There are so many channels that do that, and I highly respect all those readers out there. I just love them, and I think they're fun, and I watch them. But I have to admit, sometimes if I don't like the pile I picked, it kind of brings my energy down, to be honest. And then I have to go do my own reading to say, oh, is that really what's going to happen? And I get all scared. And so I have to do my own reading on myself to see. Um, and then, and then of course, sometimes there's some good stuff where I'm like, oh, actually it was one of those pick a piles that told me also, besides my own channeling, but it was like a confirmation that I needed to do this channel. So, there are things that I get from those other readers. And so I do appreciate those type of pick a piles, but my channel is not going to be like that. It's going to be very different. It's not, I'm not going to put, only because I was in union, I'm not going to make this, I'm not going to put it in a 3D paradigm. It's going to have to be 5D. And so whoever views it, and then whoever doesn't. It's just, this is the way it's going to be. But I'm really hoping to empower people. It's helping me. It's helping to empower me. I feel like it's really catapulted me at a higher level. Like I said, I never thought my twin flame in the 3D would figure out that we were twin flames. That was surprising to me. And so that gives me hope. And that tells me that I'm on the right track of pushing me up to the fifth dimension. And that will eventually, manifest in the 3D as well. But I have to trust the, divine on the timing. There's no such thing as time. And really, if I think about it, last year around this time, it doesn't even feel like it was a year when I really think, because I kind of remember this time because I was ready to go to Vegas for a wedding around this time. And it doesn't feel like it was like 12 months ago. It feels like it was just maybe a few weeks ago. It doesn't feel that long ago. So really there's no such thing as time anymore. So I can't get all bogged down about the timing and this person's never gonna, is it gonna be February? Is it gonna be March? I can't do that because soon it'll be my birthday in June and soon it'll be Christmas. It's just doesn't matter. Timing doesn't even exist once you hit the fifth dimension. It's not even a thing. So that's one of the other ways that to get out of the fifth dimension is to not pay attention to time. Anyway, let's start with the reading. I do hope that you enjoy the reading, and I do hope that you get something out of it. So my whole thing is I really hope you get something out of this. I'm going to keep doing more about uplifting everyone because it's such a ridiculously hard journey. I'm going to try to do more uplifting short videos during the week, and I'm going to do some about, I think I'm being guided to do some about like what does it mean to be the divine feminine? What does it mean to be the divine masculine? Because really that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to become the divine. That's what it means to go up into the fifth dimension. And then once you are the divine, then your 3D partner becomes the divine as well because they match you, and now you're in that divine relationship in the 3D. Some people are doing this. So anyway, so let's start the reading, and I will take myself out of the picture. I have a little bit of a different background now. I now have the faith. I think it's a little bit more of a higher vibration than hope. But let's just see what you got here. Whew. Okay. So again, this is the feminine energies, okay? Okay. So this again has to do with the spiritual feminine side. Let me lift this up a little bit. All right. The first card you got was 5 of Pentacles reversed. And that was clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. And then you also got the 10 of Swords, which is clarified by the 10 of Pentacles. And then you also got King of Pentacles upright, and that was clarified by the 2 of Cups. All right, and so far that is what you have in your spiritual feminine side of you, okay, on your divine feminine side of you. So what this means is some of you are feeling isolated and alone right now, or some of you are coming out of it. Some of you are actually healing from it because it is reversed. And when I clarified it, I got the Ace of Pentacles, and it makes me, and what this says is wise investment, the Ace of Pentacles. So what I'm thinking is that some of you are wondering, is this a wise investment? Is this a journey you should keep going on? You're feeling kind of isolated. You're feeling kind of, alone on this journey. You feel like you're doing it all on your own. You feel kind of left out. This also could have to do with money, where maybe some of you are feeling financially it's not quite stable, and that perhaps, maybe there's some investments that you need to invest in. But I feel like more so this has to do with your twin flame journey and your spiritual counterpart, where you're either coming out of feeling alone, or you're feeling like, maybe I need to get off this because I'm wondering if this is a wise investment. But I think most of you are coming out of this because it's reversed, which is good. I like to see this reversed. And you're realizing that this is a wise investment. And you're realizing, you know what? Yes, I feel alone. Yes, I feel isolated, but this is actually a wise investment for the long run, the long term. This is a long term investment. This is not for the short term. This is not something that I'm going to meet someone, date for a few months, and then it's over. Okay, and then you also got, with the divine feminine energies of yourself, you also got painful ending. So what this tells me is that some of you may have just had a breakup. Maybe some of you had got into twin flame union recently, and now have recently broken up, and it's been a painful ending, or doesn't have to be. It could be in the last 10 weeks, last 10 months, last 10 days, but there was some kind of painful ending. And when I clarified that, we got the 10 of Pentacles, which was the ultimate achievement. I think a lot of you felt like it might have been the ultimate achievement, being in this twin flame union, thinking this was it, this was everything you waited for. And what you're realizing now is that that wasn't the purpose. Just what I explained, because I get it. I was in the twin flame union, and I was in it, a couple times. I was in and out a couple of times. And this is how I know stuff too, because I confirm it with him when we're back, in union. I ask questions. And so, and basically, the ultimate achievement has to do with you balancing you out and being at peace and feeling completed and knowing we are all one. That is the ultimate achievement. And this painful ending is meant for you to notice that the third dimension is painful, is suffering. And if you rely on other people for your happiness, then that's what's going to happen in the 3D. That's what's going to continue to happen, is you're going to go back and forth. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to vibrate up and down. And until you realize that it's inside of you where your happiness lies, and that nobody has control of that, and no one's controlling your happiness, and you're at peace with yourself no matter what the outside circumstances are, that is the ultimate achievement. All right. And then the next card you got is, it looks like many of you are actually stable. That's what the King of Pentacles is all about, being stable. And I clarified that with Two of Cups. So this can mean a couple of things. Some of you are still in twin flame union. And I know that some of you are. I already know that some of you who watch my channel are in twin flame union, and you've been doing really well. And you are stable, and your partnership is doing quite well. And you watch these channels because you're just trying to grow and try to figure out what's the next step. But for some of you, I believe that this has to do with you're feeling stable with your divine partnership with yourself and with your actual soul, with your own divine self. Okay? And so, like what I was just talking about with your own divine feminine and own divine masculine energies, this has to do with having a divine relationship in the 5D with your soul. And the more you do that, the more stable you get, the more stable you feel. And the more that happens, the more it manifests in the third dimension. And like I said, I know a few of you. I don't know many of you, but I know a few of you have accomplished this. And I think it's the younger generation is what I'm noticing. The younger generation's doing this. Us older people, not so much. Although that's not necessarily true. Okay. Okay. You also got, it was Page of Cups reversed. Okay. Which means, well, let me just say what I clarified. And it was clarified by the Nine of Cups reversed. Okay. And what this tells me is that you were, some of you and this has to do with, by the way, so this was the spiritual feminine. This has to do with the earthly feminine. So this was going on in your spiritual feminine side of yourself, and this is going on in your earthly side of yourself. So on your earthly side, you're expecting some kind of text, some kind of email. Maybe something didn't come. Maybe you were longing for some kind of message of love, whether it be a phone call, whether it be by mouth, word of mouth, because you felt like this would, bring you satisfaction. This would bring you your wishes fulfilled. This would fulfill you. That's how you felt here in the 3D. You felt like this message of love, and this could be for some of you in union as well, already in physical union. I know that some of you are not getting this message of love, and no one's saying it to you. No one's even hinting it. And so you're feeling like this message of love is going to bring you your wishes fulfilled. Okay. And that's why it's reversed. You're not getting this message of love, and now you feel like your wishes aren't being fulfilled. And the next card you got is Memories and Reunion, clarified by concrete ideas. So then there are many of you who are, of course, out of union, because as you know, this is for the collective, or even if you're in union, still you have like memories and of love, and memories of what it was like to be with your divine counterpart. It was upright, and they're probably good memories. And that was, and because it was upright. And that was clarified by Page of Pentacles, concrete ideas. So because of this feeling of like nostalgia, and feeling of like, maybe you're thinking about what it was like to be in physical union with your divine counterpart. What it's doing is it's pushing you to come up with a new idea on how to do this. So kind of like what I do. You know how, like I told you, sometimes I'm up all night and I'm studying and I'm channeling and I'm getting more ideas on what to do. Well, this is what's driving it. This whole 3D union. That's what's driving my ambition to figure this out. And I think this is happening with a lot of you. You're putting pen to paper, or you're watching videos, or you're doing your own manifestation tools. You're reading your own books. You're watching, I don't know, spiritual channels, Gaia channel, and you're coming up with concrete ideas on how to make this work. Okay, and then you got King of Cups reversed, along with the Seven of Wands upright. Okay, so because this is reversed, what this tells me in this, and I can totally relate, is that maybe emotionally you're a little off balance. Maybe the full moon put you a little off course. Perhaps the new moon put you a little off course. The new moon and the full moon definitely turned me topsy-turvy, and maybe it did for you as well. And so your emotional mastery has been toppled and maybe wobbled a bit. And what this has done is this has made you a bit more defensive. Your defense mechanism is now up because of this. Maybe you're thinking, you know what, this is not worth it. My emotions are all over the place. I don't know what's happening. I was stable, and now, I'm not feeling as stable, and now your defense goes up. But that's okay, because what I see here is that a lot of you are still taking this and you're driving new ideas into place, and you are having faith in your divine partnership. And like I said, this might just be your actual divine self, divine soul, And this is stabilizing you, as well as realizing that the ultimate achievement is about your divine self feeling fulfilled within you, because your divine in the your 3D counterpart is not actually separated from you. You're realizing that this is an illusion. Okay. Now, because this reading is based off of the divine feminine, divine masculine energies here, I also pulled some cards to show if, like, what may be out of balance. So, because you can have excess spiritual feminine, you can have a balanced spiritual feminine, and you can have insufficient. This has to do with the chakras, by the way, which is above the heart chakra, and then your earthly chakras are below the heart chakra. So this has to do with the spiritual. And what I'm seeing is some of you, not all of you, some of you, and this makes sense because if your defenses are up, maybe some of you are feeling like, maybe more of a martyr. And what this tells me is if you do have an excess of feminine, you're feeling more like a martyr in this situation, like maybe because of this painful ending, maybe because some of you might have been just left in the past 10 months, 10 weeks, 10 days, you're feeling like more of a martyr, and you're not having compassion for your counterpart because you don't realize they also don't want this to end, but they don't have a choice because all they could do is reflect what's going inside of you. All right. And then the other one is some of you are actually insufficient in your spiritual feminine, and that means you might be overthinking. And what this causes, what you might notice, even if you've never had anxiety in your life, you're probably feeling anxiety because you're causing it in your divine counterpart side. And so, like, if you're overthinking this and you're not trusting, and trust me, this is my biggest problem, that or being scattered. What you're doing is you're causing anxiety and distance in your divine masculine side of you. Okay. And then because a couple more popped out, which I was surprised, we also got some excess earthly feminine. Now, this definitely tells me some of you are in union. This might be happening while you're in union because this happened to me. It's called fleeing or freezing. And this happens when you're numbing out. And this, if you're like me, your inner child that wasn't healed is being mirrored back to you, something you didn't even know existed inside of you. And it's making you freeze, and it's making you numb, and it's making you feel like, what the heck is happening here? Okay. And what this is causing your divine masculine to be feeling hopeless in the relationship, because they feel that they know because they're you in another body. They're feeling hopeless because you're feeling this numbing, fleeing, freezing. And then some of you also are feeling confused. Again, I get it because this is how I felt in the relationship as well. And you don't have to be in the relationship. Even if you're in separation, you could be confused because you thought, what the heck? I did a pick a pile the other day, and the pick a pile said I would be in union, and it's not happening. They said it would be in the month of January, and it didn't happen. And then maybe you're confused. And what this does is, and when you're confused, again, it causes hopelessness, maybe some stagnant, some feeling like not, and maybe it even makes your divine masculine side of yourself not awake, like not even spiritually awake. So it's very important to balance out your inner feminine and inner masculine energies. And that will balance you, and that will balance out your divine masculine side of you, which will then manifest in your earthly 3D counterpart. And again, if you want more information on that, that is what I life coach in. Okay, and then when I asked for your overall energy, we got abysmal, but it's reverse, which is good. So abysmal to me means, kind of in an abysmal state, kind of like vibrationally, kind of down here, but then at the same time trying to rise up as best you can in these circumstances, feeling like, oh, I need to see how they're getting a new perspective. They already hit rock bottom. See how they're looking up. So they're getting a new perspective now, and they're like, well, I already hit rock bottom. All we could do is go up from here. And we got to have a new perspective on this. And in this case, a lot of you will realize I can't have a 3D perspective on this relationship. I need a fifth dimensional perspective. Otherwise, how am I going to get out of this? And so, but it's reversed. So this tells me that a lot of you are getting out of this abysmal state. You are rising above it and you are healing. All right, so that's the weekly energies I got for the divine feminine. So this is what I got for the divine masculine. All right, so what I got was for the spiritual masculine side of you, which manifests in the 3D, we got conflict and defeat. And I asked a clarifier for that, and we got the third eye chakra, and we got harmony reversed. Okay, so what that tells me is he may be feeling defeated, especially if there was this painful ending. If there was a painful ending for many of you that just happened within the past 10 months, okay, your divine masculine is feeling pretty defeated about it. They're feeling very defeated about it, very conflicted and very defeated, but they're trying to use their intuition. They're trying to get out of this. They're trying to use their intuition, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, because they want this harmony. They really they know they can't have it right now. So they're feeling this conflict and they're feeling defeated because of this, because it's disharmonious, it's separated, it's not, they're also not knowing about the fifth dimension. They're not understanding that we are always connected, that there's no such thing as separation. And they just feel like, you know what, I feel defeated. We're separated. I don't understand why I don't feel good enough with the connection. And they're trying to use their intuition, which is their third eye chakra. And then the next card they got is throat chakra reversed, which means that has to do with communication. They can't communicate right now. They're working on their throat chakra. And they feel like once they're able to communicate, prosperity will finally begin. Okay, because I asked for a clarifier. So right now a lot of them feel like they can't communicate right now. They just can't do it. And because they don't want to tell you, I don't feel good enough for this relationship. They don't want to tell you that. I know I wouldn't if it were me personally. But they think once they get the nerve to make this communication, prosperity will begin with you. All right. And then the next one we got is I got fulfillment. So this is like the 9 of what is this? The green. This is the 9 of wands, is it? Oh no, green is cups, sorry. So this is like the 9 of cups reversed. And so this is fulfillment of wishes. So right now their wishes aren't being fulfilled because it's reversed. And that's because they want this divine union with you. So right now they're feeling like my wishes aren't fulfilled because I want this divine union, which is interesting because you also got the same divine partnership card. And so many of you also would feel like you'd feel more stable in this divine partnership as well. So you actually are mirroring this on the same exact pile, because I picked that as number 3 and I picked this as your number 3. And I shouldn't say you because maybe maybe you feel like you're the divine masculine. But anyway, so again, on the divine masculine side, there is this wish fulfillment of being in spiritual union with his or her divine feminine. All right. And then on the earthly masculine, this is on like their physical realm. On your divine masculine side, they're feeling like they're starting. I'm sorry. They got intuition clarified by strength. And so they're starting to use their intuition in the 3D, which is whoa. So in the 3D, your 3D counterpart is starting to use their intuition. They're starting to trust their gut on this. They're no longer looking at the 3D as is. They're looking at this from a bird's eye point of view, and they're trying to figure it out. And that's giving them more strength to move on with their own healing. And we also got emotional withdrawal. So that is the 8 of Cups reversed. but it's reversed, so they're coming out of this. Um, okay, but it was clarified by the Three of Pentacles, which is about, for me, it could be collaborating with someone, but it's also about working on oneself. So they call this deck calls it recognition and reward. So it makes me feel like, see how he's like meditating and he's withdrawing. So a lot of them are doing that to work on themselves, and it's rewarding for them to come out, at their highest potential. They're coming out with a higher vibration. So it's reversed. So I feel like either some of them are being asked to do this to work on themselves, or some of them are doing it and they're starting to come out of their emotional withdrawal because they have worked on themselves. So they're working on themselves. That's what I get from recognition and reward. They are recognizing themselves on who they are, and it's more of a like a success card. That's the Three of Pentacles. Okay, and then we also got on the earthly masculine side is disruption reversed, along with truth upright. And so this is normally the Tower card. And so they are coming out of a Tower movement, which doesn't surprise me since it looks like there was some kind of ending here. And what this did was turn their life upside down, and see how upside down he is. And it's really shaken him up, and it's really transformed him. And it was clarified by truth, which is normally the, I believe it's the justice card. And this has to do with your, no, I'm sorry, judgment. I apologize. This has to do with judgment, and this has to do with rebirth. So he's gone through a rebirth. So he's coming out of this. So he's coming out of the Tower, and he's going through a rebirth in the 3D. And that's upright. The rebirth is upright. And when I asked for an overall energy, I got flaming beauty. So what this means to me is that the divine masculine is starting to show his light. He's coming out of the darkness. So you could see the darkness here and then flaming over here. So your divine masculine, I should say they, it could be a woman, they are coming out of the darkness and they're starting to shine their light. Their vibrations are getting higher because they've been through it. They've been, they're going through a lot of work. They're using their intuition now. They're gaining strength. They're coming out of this emotional withdrawal because they're still in it and they're working on themselves. But either way, they're definitely working on themselves because this is upright. They are working on themselves. They're coming out of their Tower movement. They're coming out of their shakeup, and there's been a rebirth. So it doesn't surprise me that now they are shining their light. And then when I asked also to see what was imbalanced on their side, and again, all they could do is, mirror back what's going on the divine feminine side. So it doesn't surprise me if there has been some overthinking, insufficient spiritual, that there's some excess spiritual masculine. So maybe some of the masculines are feeling a bit controlling. Maybe they're trying to control the situation by, I don't know, not picking up the phone, not doing the message, because they're feeling imbalanced, or maybe they're feeling anxious because the anxiety also popped out. We also got fearful. So this is an insufficient spiritual side. This has to do with maybe some of you who might feel like maybe martyrs in this situation. So that will cause you to have some insufficient spiritual masculine, which would cause fear on your divine masculine side. It's just how it works, because it's you and you together. So you have to integrate both. You have to integrate your divine feminine and divine masculine sides of you inside of you, as within, so without. And when you integrate your own divine feminine, divine masculine energies, then that will, manifest in the 3D. And then we also got protective excess earthly masculine. Okay. And that just means he's probably being protective of himself. He doesn't want to tell you that he doesn't feel good enough for the relationship, but he is trying, like he is doing his best to work on himself, and he is going through a rebirth. And this is all because of you. Again, this is your own divine masculine and your own divine feminine. You're balancing yourself out. And, it's just a 5D perspective. And so again, I was just matching, and I got this chart, by the way, from the Wake Up Experience. If you want to find it, I'm sorry, it's called the Wake Up Experience.eu. And I do love that website. I've researched that during many dark nights of the soul. It's really helped me a lot. And many of my decks are based on that. I love it so. Also, just basically, oh man, if I can remember other websites that I go to, I will definitely share that with you on how but a lot of it I just channel, and a lot of it, it just kind of is given to me through tarot. All right. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. I would love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear, where you're at on your twin flame journey. I'd love to hear from the community. And again, I know everyone's on a very different path. And, I try my best to help everyone because I want everyone to feel successful and empowered. I don't want anyone leaving my channel feeling, bad about their twin flames, about their twin flame journey, about their own twin flame, about themselves. I want everyone to feel empowered and happy and positive. And I will put out more, kind of like short videos, like something to do with uplifting everyone, because it uplifts me too. Because, like I said, I'm going through this just like you are. I might as well just say goodbye this way. Yeah, so I'm going through the same thing as you are. So I do these uplifting readings to uplift myself as well, because it's the energies are really attacking us now. The energies are really, I shouldn't say attacking us, the energies are really rising, and so they're trying to push us faster, faster, faster. And if we get into twin flame union too fast, then we're going to stop growing, because we're going to treat it like a 3D relationship, because that's all we know. We don't know anything else. No one taught us how to be in a fifth dimensional relationship. That's really not in any book I even read, to be honest. I'm sure there are books on it, but I haven't gotten to them yet. And so that's why I'm doing my best to research more. And the more I learn, I will share with you. And I hope this has been helpful in any sort of way. But I'm going to keep doing more videos to find other ways to help everyone. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I really appreciate the support, and I really appreciate you clicking on my channel. I know this is brand new, so thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.